Hey, welcome to Live from Dennis's House. Today, we are spotlighting Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel, released January 26, 1970.
Wow.
Do you remember 1970, anybody?
Nope.
That was the year of AM Gold, when you could listen to the AM radio and you'd hear Jimi Hendrix, followed by Bobby Sherman, followed by God knows what. And I can't even think of what else might be there. Simon and Garfunkel, of course.
Bridge
The
Over
Beatles,
Troubled
exactly. Or, do you know what was number 18 on the charts in 1970? I'm going to tell you. It was Candida by Tony Orlando and Dawn. Are you girls aware of this back there? It's the only song written about an STD that made the top 50. So that is a little known fact. So anyway, we're gonna start the show off right, and we're gonna do a long distance dedication to Art Garfunkel's parents, Fred and Sparkle Garfunkel. And now we're gonna take a little break, and we're gonna listen to Cecilia off of this album.
Nice.
And finally, summer is here. I actually went to the beach, and you know what I found out? That if you sit in the sun, you'll get sunburned.
Yeah.
Even if you're tan?
Yes, and if you can't notice, I'm glowing here. That's not my natural hue. That is bright red, and I was in severe pain. But you know what? Remember what happened when we went to the beach? And when I took my shirt off, I got a standing ovation?
Yeah.
That's not even a joke. That really happened. I don't know if it was actually coincidence.
The timing was amazing.
But it was actually guys, so I don't know how I'm feeling about that. Anyway.
Didn't they go, woo?
It was actually the fire iron barn dance that night. But
and I thought I heard vomiting in the distance. I don't know. But anyway, I had a crazy busy week. We went to Louis Prima show, and we interviewed him in person. Nice. And Louis Prima Jr., you might ask. Then we had a phone interview with Felix Cavallari from the Rascals.
It was too much.
And we have a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be the summer of one-on-one with Dennis. I'm going to do a lot of celebrity one-on-one conversations here, and you got to see this list that I got lined up. I already got Eric Burdon lined up. I got Edgar Winter lined up. I got David Cassidy lined up. Who else do I have lined up? I have so many people I can't even keep track on, but it's going to be crazy busy summer. All right, one other thing I want to talk about. Weird Al. What the F is that?
He's been around forever.
I heard him. I just heard him recently, and I said, "Hey, Weird Al. All right, so who buys these albums, CDs, whatever? That's fine, but who listens to them? That's what I want to know. There's no way you're going to take out your Weird Al album and say, all right, I don't want to listen to Michael Jackson beat it. I want to listen to Weird Al saying eat it.
Go see him live. He actually is really entertaining live. It's true.
I don't care.
I've seen it. Yes, I'm guilty. Go see him live. Don't buy his record. Just go see him live.
You gotta see him live.
It's very entertaining. It really is.
Like a surgeon was good.
Kind of.
All right,
like a surgeon.
I'll give you that. It's mildly humorous for about maybe 5-6 seconds.
Aww.
But then you're going to listen to the whole song, and you're going to sit there. I'm coming to your house, Belle and Michael, and I want to see you. I want to videotape you listening to Weird Al and see where that goes.
When he comes back around, I'll pay for the tickets. I'm sorry.
I don't think even if I had free tickets, I would go. But I may, just as an experiment.
Exactly.
Yes, all right.
Yes, it's
Will do.
right.
I would see Shatner do spoken words like that.
Smashing Pumpkins. You know?
Oh, it's another thing. Gallagher, Smashing Pumpkins. Yes,
hey, that's great. After about your third piece of fruit, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, so the last thing I want to discuss is my new career. As I said, I'm going to all these events. I'm doing concert reviews. I'm covering all these shows, and I am now a photographer.
Yeah, I forgot that.
I don't want to besmirch anyone's career here, but you know why I'm a photographer?
Why?
Because I bought a camera.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's not really that hard of a job because the camera doesn't work.
Here we
It's
go.
not like,
oh wow,
I'm going out on a limb here. If you
photographers in the audience, I apologize.
I bought a camera and I am now a photographer. I defy anyone out there right now. Show me some of your pictures, and I'll show you the pictures I took after 5 minutes of buying this camera. And I bet they're just as good as your pictures. And now, you can't do that with a guitar. If you buy an electric guitar, you're not going to play like Jimi Hendrix the next day. You got to practice. The guitar doesn't do the work. The person does. I'll probably have to cut this out.
Except if you're blind.
I'm ranting and raving here.
Wow.
Some of my best friends are photographers, by the way. My mother and father were both photographers.
Maybe that's why you're good at it.
I think it's what they take pictures of that makes them a little bit more of a photographer.
Not necessarily. What do you mean? I was taking a picture of a concert.
Okay.
But were you Bob Gruen?
I think I was. Yeah. I was like this and like that. And then I did like this too. All right. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I'm now a professional photographer. Portrait's a specialty.
Ooh.
Anybody know what that's from?
I do not.
Felix Unger. Odd Couple. Portrait's a specialty. All right. So that's enough nonsense for one day. I'm way over time. Oh, let me introduce my guest. I didn't even introduce my guest here. On the esteemed front panel here, we have Kevin Prentice, magician and comedian. Cha-Cha to my right, and we have Michael Macchioli to my left. And in the back, we have the Dale Licata Band. And you'll never guess who's on the show this week. We have Isis on the show.
Wait.
They're a sick band, man.
Isis is back there. Isis Ra, the sun god.
Isn't
And we have
that great?
Ingrid over there and Dale in the middle.
Very nice.
Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house. And now we're going to talk to our esteemed panel here. We're going off the grid here, off the script. We don't know what we're doing. But anyone who has anything to say can say it. And we're going to let Kevin Prentice start it off. And he's going to tell us whatever he wants to tell us.
How we doing today? All right. Thanks.
So tell us about your, your charities, your events, whatever you got going on over there.
I'm trying to do a show in Florida. I'm working on right now. I reached out to, like I said, the Gruden brothers to help my brother suffers from a football injury. Remember when you were a kid? Hey, can you see how many fingers I've been holding up? Go back in. Well, by the time my brother graduated high school, they registered him about 8 to 9 concussions. By the time he was 55, he had a brain aneurysm, and he now suffers seizures 2 to 4 times a day. We just had a long battle for him to get benefits. They just got him benefits, but he lost his house in that time. For 4 years, they didn't have any benefits, and now it's kind of like you're unemployed. Okay, here's but you got benefits now. So basically, I'm going to try to get down in Florida, do a magic show trick. Basically at a club called Buchanan's outside of Orlando for him, and do a fundraiser. I'm trying to get some of the people from the NFL to participate and come in and show up, and just basically making it all around. Just do what I can for my brother. Well, you do what you got to do.
That's an excellent cause. Let's hear it for that cause. Yes. Now, also, you are a magician, and you are going to do a special Star Wars theme trick at the end.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
But I want to.
Does it have anything to do with Uranus?
No, that's a different planet. I haven't gone to that planet.
Where was Star Wars filmed, by the way? What planet was that filmed?
Many. Alderaan. I mean, you want to keep going down the list?
And other than that, I'm trying to get everything together. So when I do the show in Florida, I actually want to re-record. I'm levitating 2 people at the same time.
Wow.
As far as I know, I'm the first one in the world to ever do that. So
Nice.
Ooh, are you going to do that later on too?
Nah.
Isis, you up for that?
We're going to start out that with charity, okay?
Nobody but me.
Good answer.
I'm going to interrupt again. I'll give you another minute. But I found out before the show that Ingrid used to date Art Garfunkel.
No.
Wow.
No, I've met him.
I've
met him behind
Come on, you're supposed to go with the show.
Go with it. Come on.
All right, back to you, Kevin.
Oh, thanks. So what's new? It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's always good to have Kevin on the show.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
It adds a lot of levity to the show. You could be a temporary co-host.
Very
Fill
kind
that
of
spot right there. So it depends how we like your trick at the end, because
otherwise I'm disappearing. I know.
So all right, so let's talk a little about Mike Macchioli, who is in the Streetwalking Cheetahs, whose band is going to be playing this weekend. But by the time you see this show, you'll have already missed it. But we are going to that show, aren't
Yes.
we? Friday,
Nice.
June 3rd.
Yes, but not in Asbury Park. I misspoke last
Oh,
time.
geez.
It's in Clifton,
I'm
guys.
definitely not going to
It's in
that.
Clifton. But on July 15th, we were playing in
We
Asbury
were
Park.
going.
I'm sorry.
All right,
Yes.
that's better.
It got
Well,
switched up. I
Anyone got
apologize.
plans? I'm free June 3rd.
I'm sorry. Clifton, come on. It's only 40
I don't even
minutes
know where
away.
Clifton is.
Not that
no.
far.
That's definitely too far on a Friday night.
True.
So.
That is true.
Yeah.
So
And
what's
I
going
would
on?
like to remark that it is Marilyn Monroe's birthday, by the
Oh,
way.
is it? Oh, nice
okay.
shirt.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's one of the
All
few
right.
subjects about today.
How old would she be today?
91.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let me-
Can anybody imagine her as a 90-year-old?
Well, let me ask you this
No,
question. This
that's
is a
why
very
you die
important
young.
question now. Say Marilyn Monroe was still alive and you had a chance with her. Would you proceed with Marilyn at 91 or no Marilyn at all?
Why does this always take this turn?
This got very dark,
Dan,
very
like,
fast.
no.
I can guarantee your sunglasses will be this big.
So wait, you're forcing
As they
me
get
to have
older,
a
they get
relationship
bigger.
with Marilyn so that she'll so that she
No,
would be alive.
you don't have to have a relationship. Just say one night. And so you could say, everybody, yes, I was with Marilyn Monroe.
Or if she was never around at all, was your argument though?
No, that was not my
That's what
argument.
I thought. Then. That's what I got from that.
No.
Okay. Explain.
It's like you have no chance of ever being with Marilyn, or your only chance of being with Marilyn is when she's 91.
No chance.
Would you
at
take
all.
that chance?
No chance.
At 91.
I would take no chance.
Really? Even though you could tell everybody I was with Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah. No.
91 is 91.
A bit much. Yeah, it's a bit much. I don't know.
You?
Would you? Yeah, that's even a better question. Now you.
That's not the point. Well, no
If you
point
could be
putting
with
blame
David
on anyone.
Cassidy in 1963 or David Cassidy now, what would you do?
The show's gone way downhill here. Sorry you women have to hear this. All right.
I've seen the show before.
All right, so that's. I think we need to take a break here and,
I
and
definitely
regroup.
need a break.
Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house, and now we're going to talk to Dale Licata, Isis, and Ingrid. The
Clarity
what was the name of that?
The Clarity
project
Project.
again?
Are you clear?
Clarity Project.
Clarity
Clear on
project.
that?
I got it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna.
Clarity.
They recorded 2 songs prior to this, and you have to hear their harmonies. It was quite beautiful, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like real hippie stuff going back there. These girls are real hippies. And were you guys at Woodstock?
I was.
Were you really?
I was
stop
very
talking.
young. I won't say how old I was, but I was
Yeah.
there.
Were you actually
is
there,
so-
or were you like one of those people who's like, I was definitely there, but you were actually on the interstate somewhere? And like,
I remember Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Wow.
She looks too young to be there.
I know.
Thank you.
Check her license.
I got
Really
proved a couple of days ago.
Maybe she knows about Bowman.
We are doing a show coming up very soon at the Grover House. It's on June 19th, the Nevesink Maritime Festival, and it's about 2 o'clock. It's for all ages, all kinds of stuff going on there. This is a project to rebuild the Grover House, which is a historic building from the, I think, what is it, 1700?
Wow.
Really, really old house. And they're trying to
Sounds drafty.
Yeah.
I guess make it a beautiful place to visit. It's, I think, an old farmhouse right by Stevenson Farm in Middletown. And I'm doing a show solo at the Brighton Bar, opening up for Ellie Carpenter on the 13th, Monday the 13th of June. That's in Long Branch. We are doing the Middletown Public Library once again in the fall, in October. We just played there, and we did a wonderful show, The Clarity Project. And we're putting out an album soon from that show that we recorded a bunch of material. One of the songs we played today, which is called I Am. A lot of this material is written by Isis and Ingrid.
Yeah.
And Ingrid and I
Isis is the
are
idea
doing
person.
the
She comes up with-
harmonies, and she's the idea person.
And the drummer, I understand,
spoken
as
word.
well.
and
Wow.
drummer. Yes.
Right,
cool.
and a little
And
spoken word here and there.
She even had, before, she had the oldest drum in the history of the world. She was playing it. First drum ever made.
Is that true?
Yes.
You gave
That
it
is
to me to
absolutely
hold.
true.
That was,
Why not?
Wow. I'm pretty impressed.
And there's one other thing that's kind of exciting coming up. We have we just finished wrapping a movie that actually a sci-fi series that
Oh,
I'm
yes, I
working
wanted
on.
to
It's
ask you about
called
this, yes.
Hunter, and we are going to be part of that. Our music, I'm doing the soundtrack, and a lot of the music is instrumental, but we are part of that soundtrack, the Clarity Project. Some of this.
wow. When's this movie coming out? Where can we check this out?
Well, it is going to be just beginning post-production this weekend. I'm starting, so a little while, probably
And
another
are you
year.
involved in the filmmaking aspect, or
Yeah.
just the soundtrack?
I was actually in the film.
Oh, you're an
I was-
actress?
I'm an actress.
Wow, you're a jack of all trades, almost like me.
Dennis.
Can you do photography, though?
An evil
As
scientist.
good as Dennis.
I played the part of an evil scientist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
What did she play? I'm sorry.
An
Evil
evil
scientist.
scientist.
Very cool.
Cool.
And New Jersey Friends of Clearwater's Festival.
Oh, New Jersey
coming
Friends
up
of Clearwater's
Wow.
Festival.
September
Guys are busy.
10 and 11.
September 10th and 11th, we're playing at that. And also, I'm
At
the
Brookdale.
featured artist the 3rd of July at the Eatontown Community Center for the Circle of Song,
Right.
which is part of the Clearwater
Part of
Festival.
Clearwater.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Wow, very nice. So now let's have a little discussion with your friends here. That they seem like very interesting characters back there. Tell us about it. You seem to have an interesting life. Tell us, wrap up your entire life within 60 seconds. Go. So you were born, and then what happened?
Tell him about the thing we were just talking about, the thing you're going to be doing. That's wonderful. We're going to.
Oh, I'm building a safe house for women, homeless women, to get them off the street.
That's very nice.
And it's going to be with our music
God bless.
playing at it, hopefully, to help.
Yes, we have. Edwin and I have made a CD for it.
Nice.
I'm also getting ready to help put the roof back on our church
Wow.
because the roof is damaged.
What church is that?
Allen Chapel.
Very good.
Wow. You're like a nice person.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
What's that like?
Do no evil.
I don't meet too many.
What was that song that we made, Ingrid?
Well, the one we just did was I Am.
I am.
But,
No, it was something. Okay, whatever. But,
All right, that just sounds like a very full life there. Now we're going to go to Ingrid and find out her relationship with Art Garfunkel.
I just happened to be backstage with one of the reporters interviewing him, and I had the chance to tell him that when I divorced in the 70s, the one thing we were fighting about were the Simon and Garfunkel records. And we ended up buying an entire new set.
So
that
what, the
we
judge broke them in half?
So that, yeah, that would have been too much of a problem.
Okay, you can have the cat. I get the rest.
Yeah.
Right.
You can have the kids. I'll take the Simon and Garfunkel.
But
Right?
we
What did he say?
I want bookends.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
He had such a laugh.
Very
I
nice.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome stuff. Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house. And now we're going to talk about Simon and Garfunkel and Bridge Over Troubled Water. This is the 5th and final studio album by Simon and Garfunkel. It was
One of
released
my
January
favorite songs
1970.
ever.
Columbia Records. This includes, of course, two of the duo's most successful songs of all time on one album. You had Bridge Over Troubled Water, plus The Boxer, plus a lot of other great songs anyway. And of course it was on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. This album was both critically and commercially successful, and it topped the charts in over 10 countries and received 2 Grammy Awards plus 4 more for A Bridge Over Troubled Water. It sold 25 million records and was ranked on several lists, including number 51 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. Now get this, it was the best-selling album of 1970, 1971, and 1972.
Wow.
How sick is that?
That's
And at the time, it was the best-selling album of all time until what album came out in 1982? Thriller by Michael
I was gonna say
Jackson.
that.
And then,
yeah.
what's his name? Weird Al. Then he
Celine
became
Dion.
in '83 became the best-selling album with "Eat It." And then, so it was a masterpiece. Of course, combining folk, rock, R&B, gospel, jazz, world music, and pop.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So we're gonna talk a little about these guys. Anybody know anything about Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel? That they were two nice Jewish boys from
New York
Queens.
City.
Yes,
I swear we're from the city. We're from an outer borough.
They're from Forest Hills, Queens, the same place the
there you
Ramones
go.
are from.
Okay.
A lot of
Wow.
awesomeness comes from Queens.
That's true.
Does anybody know anything else or anybody else that comes from Queens?
I know you're not
Anybody?
into hip hop, but
I know
Nas
that
is from
salt and
Queens.
pepper. come from
Anybody else?
Cindy Walker's from Queens.
Would that
Me, I'm from Queens too. Let's hear it from me.
King of
So,
awesomeness.
yes. So anyway, they shared a love for rock and roll. That's what brought them together as kids, and especially their favorite group was the Everly Brothers.
That's right.
Oh,
And they learned to harmonize, and they formed a little group called Tom and Jerry, and they actually had a little hit with a song called Hey Schoolgirl. So then they took a little break, and they got back together. They formed a folk duo, and their first hit song was Sounds of Silence. And when they first put it out, it was just like an acoustic song, and nobody paid any attention to it. But then after Dylan went electric, somebody took the song and they put drums and electric instruments on it, and it skyrocketed up
Then the graduate
the charts. Right, and then they built upon that. Each album was better than the next one, bookends, and then they had like you just said, Mrs. Robinson, the Graduate soundtrack,
Scarborough
great
Fair.
movie, yes, and then but this was their what am I looking for? What word am I looking for?
The crescendo.
Yes, the crescendo. All of those are good. Good,
pinnacle.
good. The pinnacle,
That was
yes.
their best album.
Yes, absolutely.
The high watermark of
Without
Simon
a
Garfunkel.
doubt.
And this made them the biggest rock
Yes.
duo of the 60s. You know, and Paul Simon became a masterful songwriter. He had catchy tunes with like really intelligent lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And Art Garfunkel, although cursed with the worst hair and worst name in show business, he had the most
Yes.
beautiful voice you
He
could
really-
imagine.
yes.
And
Engelbert Humperdinck is actually pretty close.
I don't know, but he had better hair.
He had way better hair. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's because I grew up around the corner from Art, and I would go over there, and his mom Sparkle would be there. Oh, my boy Arthur, he sings like an angel. That's what I
right.
remember.
Go down to the deli and get me some brisket.
Mike, don't encourage.
Yes. So anyway, that during the making of this album in '69, heading into '70, it actually strained their relationship a lot because Arthur. I call him Arthur, you know. He was doing movies at the time, and he was traveling around. And Paul Simon said, you know, working with him so closely all these years, I just wanted out. I got sick of him. And so they broke up right after this came out. They did a couple shows, and in the same year, 1970, they broke up. Do you believe that?
I do.
That's such a
And
shame.
after, you know, the biggest album ever, but that actually worked out good, I think, because once you hit this, there's no way they're gonna have an
Right.
album better than this.
Right.
It would just level off, maybe, or go down a little
always
bit.
happens that
Yeah,
way.
but you know exactly. So they went
went
out on a high note. Exactly.
Yeah.
you
They
know?
came out with in '72, 2 years after the first compilation album, Simon and Garfunkel's Greatest
You mean
Hits.
this?
Oh,
My favorite album.
Yeah, you got all that.
Excuse me,
I know
I'm
you
not
got
your
all
way.
that.
First album my dad ever gave me.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
That's
wow.
awesome. I'll let you smell that one later. So, yeah. So,
The album cover.
Yeah, just
So they both went on to successful solo careers, Art in the movies. He had a couple songs here and there, and then Paul Simon just blew up all over the place.
He did.
One of the greatest solo careers, all this different kind of music and everything. He was amazing.
Graceland.
Married, what's her name?
Carrie
which
Fisher.
one?
Edie Brickell.
Edie Brickell.
We already-
and
Wait,
Carrie
did you
Fisher.
said that he married Carrie Fisher? When was that?
Before Edie Brickell.
But was
Yeah.
that
Then he
the-
divorced.
He was like in his late
Was
40s
that
when he met
was
Edie Brickell.
famous, though?
Oh, yeah, of
Oh,
course.
okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. So then, you know, they had a.
And he also dated Diane Keaton for a while.
Oh, really?
Wow, she
I did not
dated
know that.
everybody.
Yeah. So they reunited here and there, little things, but nothing like the big concert, the free concert in
Yes.
Central
New York
Park in
City.
1981.
Oh, wow.
You know who was there? Me. I was at that
Yeah.
concert in Central Park. Were you there? I thought you looked familiar. Well,
I
yes.
remember you going to that.
Yes, it was awesome.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Lying in your own vomit for
And that was
24
their
hours.
first reunion in like
yes,
7 years.
and it was great. So, you know, the legacy is amazing. The hits that they had, name songs, The Boxer,
Bridge Over Troubled
Susie.
Water.
Sounds of Silence,
All-time favorite.
I Am a Rock,
Feeling
America, Homeward Bound, etc., etc.
Young Little Boy in New York.
Yes, very good. So, but I think Bridge Over Troubled Water could be the greatest song ever recorded.
It is.
It's kind of reminiscent of the Beatles' Let It Be, and they both came out in the same year, but it's really the most beautiful song ever written.
Yeah.
And I defy anyone not to get chills. Well, at least
Right.
I do. Every time I heard it today, and I get chills when I hear it at the high part at the end,
Yes.
when they're building up, and the tears are welling up in my eyes.
I know.
That
Singing
song
at the
does
top of my
nothing for
lungs.
me. Nothing for me.
Are you serious?
It's like Let It Be. I think it's so overrated. Oh my god.
Well, it's no Eat It,
Oh
but
my god. You're acting like that's the crescendo of my palate right there. Crescendo once again.
so
Terrible.
you're
Terrible.
saying you like you're
I like raw power better, okay?
You gotta let go of your hang-ups, bro, just
Okay.
like I did many
Sorry.
years ago. So that's it. So anyway, so they're still alive and well, and they're national treasures, if you will. And like we said, Paul married 3 years. You notice I almost said arrested instead of married?
Yeah.
They kind of goes together.
You still get sentenced.
All right.
And, all right, here's the thing. Art was married 2 times, but you know he had an extended relationship with? And it's not Ingrid. It's Penny Marshall, Laverne.
Wow.
Really? Yes. Isn't that something? Who knew that?
Laverne?
Yep. So that's it. Go
Laverne
see them.
Turner?
If they come around, I'm definitely going to see them again
Yes.
because they are national treasures. You got to see everybody before they pass away. And hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house. And now it's time to smell the album and do the news. And this album looks good. I don't know where I got this album. It's not my album. It's from Deb Worster. So, but it's very old and it looks like it smells good.
Thank you, Deb.
Ah, that's delicious. My favorite song. is, I'm not even going to say Bridge Over Troubled Water. I'm going to name a different song. I'm going to say America. So,
Well,
as we pass this around, ladies, you guys will get a chance to smell the album and name your favorite song by Simon and Garfunkel.
Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Yeah, keep passing a whole bunch of them. Here, you can smell this one.
Oh, this
Pass
one
it that
is
way.
brutal. Wow, where was that?
Whoa, Bridge Over Troubled Water is winning.
That seems
That was a
to be
little bit of
happening.
the smoke from the 70s. came
Wow,
out on that
that's
one.
a crazy.
Yeah, don't pass them all back.
Not your way.
During that.
Yeah, I'll pass it on down now, okay?
If you can identify.
Here, you hold it.
Sounds of silence.
Very good.
Nice.
Bridge over troubled water.
Whoa, Bridge Over Troubled Water is a clear winner.
Yes.
It's up to Michael now.
He doesn't.
I'm sensing two. Scarborough Fair and
Yes.
Hazy Shade of Winter.
Oh, Michael's greedy. He's always picking two songs.
I can't help myself. It's hard. It's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to get to the news. As everybody knows, I'm a serious journalist, and we
Yeah.
have a serious news story here. So everybody, buckle up and be prepared for this news story. This takes place in Los Angeles. An LA gang member, Nazario Conchuza Gonzalez, who is part of the infamous MS-13 gang, has died of medical complications after attempting to gold plate his own genitals to celebrate his 17th birthday. The young man that is originally from El Salvador is believed to have attempted to gold plate his own genitals with a professional automotive gold plater stolen from a local garage after first painting his genitals with a lead-based paint.
Gold member.
The 17-year-old man, who was allegedly a fan of the 2002 American comedy movie Goldmember, had taken the Spanish nickname of Palatos de Oro, or Golden Testicles.
Hi.
That is so going to be the name of my next band right there. So, before attempting, I lost my place here. Before attempting to gold plate his own genitals to his ultimate demise. So Dr. Ian Josephson of the Los Angeles Community Hospital warns of a growing trend within gang members to attempt this deadly operation. This is the third case this year, and we've had many occurrences in hospitals around the region these past few years. I have no idea where this idea comes from, but plating one's own genitals will only ultimately end in serious medical complications or even death, as we've seen in this case, he explained. Some experts believe the tradition might find its roots in prehistoric Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Mayans, who painted parts of their bodies with gold paint to empower themselves as an offering to the gods.
Yeah, wait till he gets to the metal detector.
That's a good one, Kevin. Yeah. So, that's all the news. It's not fit for print. And now we're going to wrap this show up. Yeah, thank you for joining us on the show. Yes, I hope you weren't scarred by this.
Thank you for having us. We had a good time.
Bad, and they're so good.
So thanks for joining us here on Live from Dennis's House, only on 474 The Mix, where the music matters. See you next week. I'll be doing another classic album and Behaving Badly. And like us up on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, DennisMoJill.com. Watch me on the radio, hear me on the TV, and all social media.